Welcome guys to Dogs of War YouTube channel. Today we have learn how to play Doomtown. We have Josh here today.
Hi.
Doomtown is a new, they call it ECG, but it's basically an LCG too. It's a card game made by AEG. You don't have random packs in this game. When you buy a pack, you get a play set of all the cards. So you only have to purchase the pack once. It's not collectible, so you don't have to chase rares or anything. This Fantasy Flight was the first company to pioneer this type of games, and now AEG is got into the market with their game. But Doomtown is based off the world of Deadlands. It's a wild, wild west, steampunk with undeads, ghosts.
There's magic, there's steampunk, there's cowboys, there's Indians, all otherworldly things as well.
And so this game is it was originally CCG, and now it came back as the news format right now. So yeah, there's 4 factions in the game. You have Law Dogs, the Sloan Gang,
The Cattle Company, and the Fourth Circle.
Law Dogs is basically the sheriffs.
Yep.
The people that police the town.
The good guys.
Yes. Mainly in the faction is punishing people for cheating.
Yeah. They also deal a lot with hunting down and dealing with people who have bounties.
They're wanted. So that's the strong. They're strong faction of shootouts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're a little bit more synergy orientated, but still.
Okay. Then you have the Sloan Gang,
which are all about making themselves wanted and getting buffed off of that. They are
the criminals.
They're criminals. Yeah. Criminals. They are very deadly in shootouts. They don't offer a lot of board control for themselves, but they get some pretty significant buffs when trying to take other people's deeds.
Yeah. So then you have the Cattle Company. Cattle Company is the corporation. They are mainly strong at locations or deeds. So their object is to put as many deeds out and hopefully win that way. They usually don't want to get into shootouts, even though they do have some
they have some pretty good dudes in there.
Yeah. They have a lot of dudes that benefit with horses.
They're a big horse faction. They have, I think, at least 3 or 4 people who get buffs off of just having a horse attached to them.
And then
the Fourth Circle, they're your primary magic slinging faction, called hucksters in this world. They deal a lot with preventing their people from dying. A lot of control, actually, I think about it, in preserving as well as denying from other factions. They're a little freaky. They have a few undead people in there.
Which they call Herald.
Which some of the Law Dog cards actually go against that as well.
Yeah.
But
so that's a little brief descriptions of all the 4 factions. So in the game, you have, you have those general synopsis of the game. You have dudes. They call it, and that's what their characters. In any other game, they call them dudes. So your dudes are going to have an influence. They are marked in the card with the red chip. Okay? So you imagine the town of Gomorrah, but this is where this takes place. and your guys are walking around the town saying, stay quiet, keep quiet, you better do what you want, or you better do what I say, or if things are going to get worse. So they're just bullying the people, or if you're law dogs, you're protecting the people. They feel safe because you're here. So each guy is going to have an influence that's based on the poker chip. Then you're going to have locations, which will have control points. So if the town of Gomorrah has 5 buildings, and Josh owns 3 of them, so he is kind of the guy who's running the things in town. So the object of the game is, if you have more deeds which provide you control points with their marked with little blue chips, if I have more control points than my opponent has an influence, I win. That determines that I control the town. The town is mine now. Because his
basically, if you have more stay in the town than the other people can try and muscle out,
yep,
you win the town. What's interesting is that even though the other people, if you have no deeds under your control that you own per se, but there's a bunch of deeds that Jesus has, I can go over there and control his deeds. Yeah. And thus I can win the game that way.
Yes. So either you play your deeds out or you take the deeds from your opponent. And what happens is if I have a deed and I don't have a dude in there, but he has a dude, and that dude has influence, it's now that control points Josh has in them because he controls that location. So fluff-wise, I build a saloon to make money, but I don't put nobody to manage it or to protect it, and then Josh comes in and says, hey guys, I own this place, you work for me. They're going to just follow what Josh says until I bring a dude over there to say, you don't own this place, I do. So, what's going to bet? And then ends up being in the shootout. So, if I have a location, and I don't have a dude, and Josh puts a dude, so he then controls it. I can then move a guy into there. As long as my guy has equal to or more than Josh's influence, I own the location. I'll get control back of it. Because if it's in a tie, the owner of the deed will get control of it. And so in the game, you basically are moving back and forth, taking each other's deeds, protecting your deeds until one person runs out of dudes because they all got killed.
Yep. Which happens a lot.
Or when I get to play more control points. And that's the game checks that at the end of the round.
Yes.
So even if I play out all these deeds and control points and I'm winning, but Josh manages to take a couple of them or stuff like that, it doesn't check out to the end. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go into, this is just a little overview of the game. And then we'll go into more detail so you guys can see at least one round of Doomtown, and we'll go more details how the game goes. The game also is very flavorful. Mm-hmm. When the set is to determine who wins in a shootout is based off a poker hand. So you
That's
draw.
Right. You're playing poker in a card game.
Yep.
To see who wins the game.
Every card has a number and a suit. And so you're going to be drawing 5 cards, make the best hand of poker, and then whoever has the best hand based on how much they beat is how much casualties are going to happen. So it is very, and that's where the cheating comes in, because if Josh reveals, oh, I got 4 of a kind, and 3 of them are ace of spade, that's a cheating hand. So happens. So that's how you determine combat here. And spells are drawing a card from the top, determining a value.
The same as gadgets, which mad scientists build. You pull the top card, see if you're successful at building the device. And there's other abilities that do that as well.
Yeah, and I think that's basically
the general gist of the game.
So we'll go more into detail. So see us in the next video.